Coach, if you could just kind of recap the last 2 games that you had.
Yeah, great road trip for the Bears. Started off with a big game at Weber State last Thursday night. Team that beat us really at the buzzer. At our place maybe 3 weeks ago, and I thought so many things went well for us. I thought our attention to detail, the few things that were problematic in game 1, I thought we addressed, and we just played great. Guys had great focus, great energy, playing with a lot of confidence right now. So that was a great start to the weekend. And then you got that one day in between, so travel up to Pocatello, Idaho on Friday, played them Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock. Totally different game where the Weber game was, in the 80s, almost 90s, really fast-paced game. The Idaho State game, they play a lot slower. So that game ended up being in the 60s, beat them 69-61. I thought we had a good first half. Did not finish the half well. If I remember right, I think we were up 5. Thought we could push it to 7 or 8, but at the end of the day, it was like a 2-point game at halftime. Bad start to the second half. Got down 5, and at that point in time, we made a couple changes schematically to our ball screen coverage and some things like that. And at that point in time, I thought our guys did a really good job of responding. We had to make some critical plays to go from being down 5 to ultimately probably up 8 or 10 over the course of about 8 or 10 minutes. So great effort, big physical game. A lot of guys played well and walked out of there with two big road wins.
Your efficiency numbers and assist rate have really stood out. What's been clicking offensively that's allowed this group to play so connected on that?
I think those two are connected, I think, and not for all teams. Some teams are a little bit more dynamic when they go one-on-one, but I think for our team, the idea that, the ball has energy and, concepts like drive it, share it, just different things like that. Our team's better when we have more threats, and we've been a very high assist rate team. Starts with, Quinn Danker. I think he's leading the league in assists right now. But really, at the end of the day, we talk about just the quality of every shot. And so whether you make it or miss it, just find the shots that we want to get. That's our guys have really bought into that. And I do think, too, in addition to Danker, Block, and Wisney, who have really shouldered the offensive load all year, the emergence of Ring Neary, going back 3 games ago against Eastern Washington, he had 23. And then obviously Ibu Yamazaki against Weber State had 23. Having multiple guys starting to have big games has really helped out, because when you have multiple threats on the court, it opens up everything for all the other players.
We've had a lot of late game, obviously one possession games,
yeah.
And it seems like the last 4, you guys have really been able to close out the games and kind of have that confidence throughout the entire game. What do you think has been the biggest difference?
Yeah, we've had 14 one-possession games on the year, which is just insane. Usually it takes about 3 seasons to get to 14 one-possession games, and we've had 14 one-possession games in 20, 25 games. But, nothing's really changed too much. Obviously, at the beginning of the year, we had all those pressure games that we won at the buzzer. We had the 3 overtime wins. So we've been thrown in that spot early on. In the first stretch of the season, we went 5-1 in those one-possession games, and our overall record was 9-1. In the second 10 games, we had 6 more one-possession games. We went 1-5, and that's why our record flipped to 2-8. But yeah, we've had more of those in this kind of third phase of the season, and I do think that even though those are stressful and they're, you're not, if it gets down to the last possession, you're not winning all those games. I do think that being in these type of games and having all these late game situations, in the grand scheme of things, it'll help you down the stretch, and I think maybe that's what's going on right now.
Several different guys, like you said, have stepped up night to night. How important has that balance been as you navigate the back half of the schedule?
Yeah, it's critical. I mean, if you're an offense just relying on 1 or 2 guys, you're usually pretty easy to scout and to game out, where opposing teams can double ball screens, they can blitz, they can trap, they can do different things. But I do think when you have you look at it, obviously Quinn's had some monster offensive performances, but so Brock had 29 against Texas Tech, Zach Block had 32 against Cal State Fullerton, and then again with Ring, with Ibu. Egan Shields, big game against South Dakota, and so forth and so on, that the more of these guys that have productive offensive games, and it just kind of goes within the flow of the game, it just helps out so much. If you're so relying on one player, usage rate wise and this and that, these guys aren't always going to have a good offensive night. So it's helped us out a ton, and again, going back to the sharing the ball and having that ball have real energy to it, it's really helped out.
Kind of just talking about Brock, Quinn, and Zach. Brock's moving into 15th on the UNC all-time scoring list. He has 1,262 points. And then he also ranks 7th in program history in field goals with 529. Can you kind of just talk about his career here and how important he is to this team.
Yeah, his first, words is longevity, right? And then like having kind of those career type of numbers, 15th. And I haven't looked at it too in depth, but I mean that probably means he can push close to top 10 when it's all said and done. Knowing that we have 6 games left before the tournament, and we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, it's longevity and it's just consistency, and he's gotten better and better and better every year. But it's really cool that seeing players that stay the course, obviously stay in one place for their entire career, which is not the norm anymore. Really proud of him, and he's gotten better and better and better. One example is how good he is on the block, but now he can shoot threes, and he's always been able to kind of shoot, but now he's really knocking down threes, and it's just really diversified his game. And even going to that Idaho State game, it's a 4-point game, 56-52, with about 7 minutes left when he banged a 3 to stretch it back out to 7, and that was a critical shot. So just it shows the long-term growth and development of Brock.
Yeah, and kind of moving into that, Zach has also been here going into his 5th year
Yeah.
of the program, and he's all over in the record book now. He's 9th all-time in three-pointers made and three-point attempts. He sits 5th in games played, and he should break that all-time record at the end of the season.
Yeah.
He also has 95 career steals. He's 18 away from cracking the all-time top 10 in that. Closing in on single-season marks for steals, and also made threes. So kind of talk about his influence.
Yeah, just same thing. He's even older than Brock, because he did redshirt 1 year for us too. But you look at Zach's career too, and yeah, I can go back and think about how he's developed as a player. And really when he came in, we thought he'd be just more like a pure point guard, and then his skill set kind of, evolved early on. He was kind of like a sniper off-ball guard, and now he's a sniper, but he also can be on the ball. And just goes, again, to like the development and the growth. But the games played thing, it's the same thing. Like that dude's played through a lot of injuries. It's one thing that no one can ever say is that Zach Block is soft. That's a tough dude right there. And so he plays through just about everything. And his impact to the program has been critical for forever. And that's why he's also one of the stats to be one of the winningest players in the history of our program too.
And then if you can just preview the upcoming games and all the promotions that we have going on this week.
Yeah, one at a time, right? So Sac State on Thursday night, 6 p.m. Greek night. We're going to have an awesome student section there, with the pep band and the fraternity, sororities, Bears supporting Bears night, student athletes. And we're going to have a great student section. And I think the buzz in the community, we've won 4 in a row. I think we're going to have a great crowd. You look at the numbers, we've been right under 2,000 people multiple times, 1,800, 17. So this is the game. Let's get this thing over 2,000 people Thursday night. Sac State, they've really gotten better, to be honest about it. That early in the year, they were always super talented, brand new team, brand new staff. Obviously, a lot of recognizable names with Mike Bibby's their head coach, and Shaq O'Neal's their GM, and Shaq's kid plays on the team, and then Mikey Williams, former number 1 player in the country in high school, and also from what I understand, 400 million Instagram followers or something like that. But they're a team that early on they were struggling to kind of figure things out. And I do think over these last 6 to 8 games they've really improved. I think they're as hot as any team in the league right now. Led by Mikey Williams and Prophet Johnson, and it goes on from there. Good team, and then get through that one Saturday, 2 p.m. game, Portland State, league-leading Portland State. They've done a great job in the league. They've had the same amount of really close games, and they've been able to squeak out all these close wins. So they'll come in regardless of what the outcome is for them Thursday night. They'll come in leading the league at that point in time. So I look at it for us we've with our 4 wins in a row, we've got right back into the middle of the pack, and this is a critical weekend. If we can win, if we can take care of this weekend, we can get even further up the standings. And so, yeah, just a huge opportunity on Thursday night. We try to only think about one at a time, but when you think about the grand scheme of things, get through Thursday night, Saturday night, Portland State alumni night, alumni game. A bunch of our former alums will be coming back. We'll be recognized during the game, do a little bit of stuff for them before the game. Just a really exciting weekend in Greeley for Bears basketball.